began in corporate America with two professionals who hated their jobs.
Awesome.
Tell how you figured out the trailer tax. I mean, how did you come up with the idea? Because I have a totally different story than you do.
It's in the driveway, and my bathroom off of our master bedroom overlooks it. And I was having a particularly, oh my God, why am I doing this day? And I looked outside and went, I used to do talk shows. I could do a talk show in the trailer. And I can't suck as much as this job. And that was the trailer talks. So what's your story?
So my story is that we were at work and we were doing a bitch session in your office.
It's true.
Because we used to do that a lot.
There were many of those. That's actually not a bad idea. Maybe we could grab it, yes.
Maybe we should make a podcast called The Bitch Session. You said, I want to do something more creative. I got to get out of here. And I'm like, amen to that. What do you want to do? And you said, well, I want to do a little talk show in this funky little camper trailer that I have that sits in my driveway. And I said, I'm in. I'll help you with anything. Yeah, you build a website, do editing, whatever you want. Yeah, I'll figure it out because I don't know,
Yeah.
I never edited.
No, you have to be the host because I don't like being on camera.
Right, well, that's what you said. You said, I think you'd be good on-camera talent. And I went,
No.
what is wrong with you?
I like everything about talk shows except being on camera.
Right.
But I think the important part of the trailer is not the physical trailer.
No, I don't think so either.
It was when it started.
Right, because
again,
it's what we had.
I got a trailer. Let's do a show. It's kind of like Judy Garland and Andy Hardy.
Right.
Whee! Let's do a show.
Let's put on a play in the barn.
That's exactly it. It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the trailer talks was, oh my God, I've got to do something different. Mm-hmm. And so we spent a lot of time talking to people who went, oh my God, I've got to do something different.
I remember just coming home and I was sitting there having dinner and she's like, are you even happy with what you do? I said, no, I'm not happy. I don't like what I'm doing. I thought I had my dream job once I got to a certain level in medical sales, and it was just the same old. And she looked at me and she said, just quit.
And there aren't examples out there of actual people who, quote unquote, aren't famous or are about to be famous for whatever they're doing, but aren't focused on being famous, who tell a story that's different about doing a variety of things, about making a contribution, about being a musician and being a businessman, being that whole spectrum of your personality in just one life. And that's what the trailer talks is about. This was a camper trailer for like some Brady Bunch like family in the 1970s, and they drug it out to the desert and they had probably the worst fucking vacations of their lives.
I know.
It's like being in a tuna can. Who the fuck wants to have this as a vacation?
Yeah, with mom and dad sleeping
here
at the table,
yeah,
and the kids bunking up here.
And they were really fucking short, too. I don't know how they fat, but, whatever. And then it became a scriptwriter den. Mm-hmm. And then it was an office. And now it's a webisode set and guest room.
Right.
It's had more lives than a lot of people in their middle 40s and 50s.
True. So, our guests.
Yes.
I remember the first interview we ever did.
I was actually nervous.
We can actually name names on these.
Yeah. I was desperately nervous.
Were you?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, well, if we fuck it up, we just don't publish it.
That never occurred to me that you wouldn't publish it, right? That you wouldn't go through the process and not publish it, even if it sucked.
Well,
I don't know.
You can have a trial run.
Again, Irish Catholic. That's all I have to say. Is like, you're right. Everyone can have a pilot.
So yeah, the first guest was Dan Ninen.
Yes, but he didn't
via
come out.
Skype.
Yeah, he didn't come out until later.
Yeah. So we had the computer on the pillow, and we were praying over the connection, and we finished the questions up 20 minutes before we connected with him. And
I don't even think it was that long. I think it was like 3 minutes before here.
What's the last question? We got to ask 10 questions. What's the last one?
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, you take care now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
13:50.
Cool.
Of course, I had to cough. I'm like,
I know. I was just like, oh, you poor thing.
yeah. Good job.
Thank you. you.
Okay.
I was hoping that was good. I'm sort of like sitting there going, all
Okay.
right.
We'll take a little break. He was clearly more experienced than we were.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were coming tomorrow.
Yeah. And he was like, what have I agreed to do?
Yeah. We're like, here we are in the trailer.
We're here.
Play. Time to play.
Time to play.
But
I have no idea how to do this.
We've had people who have shown up and been disappointed that we were doing it remotely and not had the trailer.
I know.
Like the Reigning Monarchs. They were like, we wanted the trailer.
We want the trailer.
I was like, well, your publicist wouldn't move you to the trailer. They thought you wouldn't come to the trailer. They were like, we wanted to be in the trailer.
Well, we'll move the trailer eventually. We'll put it in a more central location for 6 months, maybe.
I think
we'll get another trailer.
The guest thing has always been, we can always get,
But I love the fact that we've, called on all of our friends and said, you have to be on the show because we're just starting out and nobody took us seriously because
nobody will talk to us.
We had no record, right? So we're calling, Seth Burnham.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle Thomas. Who, by the way, Dennis Keeley.
But no one would talk to us. I would send out all these pitches, and it would be like, burp. I did feel like this amazing sense of accomplishment when publicists started pitching us. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, wait a minute.
Where was that turning point? Was it, do you remember?
It was about 8-9 months in of producing, of slogging, of asking every friend we had.
The slog.
Of posting on websites and
just shoving social media down people's throats. We're here.
You were here. You would be on a plane and pull out shit out of magazines and hand it to me, and I'd do all of those things, and then I'd read things, and then I would ask my kids and their friends, so who do you think would be cool? And they would go, they'll never come and talk to you. These are the cool people. They're not going to talk to you incessantly.
No.
I'm like, oh, okay.
You're not going to get Jenna Marbles on the show.
Right.
Jenna, if you're listening, we want you on the show.
We want you on the show. Another favorite, The Good Muse.
Oh, love her. Reagan Payne. Yeah.
And we got to be there at the beginning and kind of towards the end of her 100 acts of kindness. Mm-hmm. And talked about how things have changed, and she's had plays produced all over the country, and it was like, you came to a tin can in the equivalent of a hurricane.
Right. It was pouring down rain.
Which it's aluminum on the outside. So it was
it sounds like a Noah's Ark.
and again, because we are who we are, it never occurred to us to cancel that day. Because we had a schedule, damn it.
We were plowing on. We needed that because we would tape, I would edit, we would put out in the same week.
Yeah.
And it was like, whew, podcast horror. Got it. I could do it.
I think the creation of ladders and buckets, though, was one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Marion Kerr.
Yeah.
Having, you know what? I quote her all the time from that episode.
200 degrees in the trailer.
It was so hot.
And the painting crew or somebody shows up next door to paint the house next door. And I go out and in my broken Spanish tell them, please be quiet. 10 minutes, just 10 minutes.
It's your end goal is to be super rich and famous right off the bat. There's reality shows for that, you can, you know what I mean? You can do it, but what do you want? What is your goal? How do you want to proceed as an artist?
It's not rolling down the hill.
No, I know. I'm dude, with the ladder.
I know.
The ladder still works.
The ladder still works. And they start dropping ladders and buckets because that doesn't count as being quiet. They weren't talking.
Right. They weren't talking. But...
And so it was the recession response to chutes and ladders. Ladders and buckets.
Right.
Step stools and buckets.
Get the donkey.
And get the donkey.
Yeah.
Step stools and buckets.
Tie the bucket to the donkey. She's the one who said, nobody teaches you the slog.
No.
You have to slog through that first bunch of crap that you have to do.
Yeah.
And what else did she say? Work begets work. She was full of awesome sage advice, and I wanted to like grab Seth and go, listen to her.
Yeah.
But I love those turnarounds when people have been, doing the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 7 or whatever it is for corporate America, and then they're like, screw this. I mean, I love people telling our story, I guess. That's what it is. I love it when people tell our story.
And I think the funny part about it, actually what you're seeing in terms of reform of work, that over time, if you're a manager at McDonald's and you're working 70 hours a week, you should be getting overtime. Mm-hmm. But because you quote-unquote manage people, you aren't entitled to overtime.
Right.
Under the federal statute. And I think people have begun to realize that, okay, yeah, I'm making $120,000 a year, and that's a good wage. No one's saying that that's a bad wage.
No.
But when you're working 75 hours a week because you have to carry a BlackBerry or an iPhone, and you're expected to have 24/7 responsiveness to an entity that doesn't offer the same security that it did 40 years ago, why are you working that hard and it's not for you?
Right. I don't think I can ever work for anybody else again.
Oh, I know I can. I really suck at it. I really annoy people.
I think I've done it. I've played by most of the rules.
Well, you've played by most of the rules. I mean, you wore the same hat for 20 years. Part of I think what we also have to begin to look at is kind of not just sharing our story, but giving sponsors an opportunity to talk to our audience as well. And we've been partly hesitant and partly lazy and partly busy,
partly overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So we haven't asked anybody. I mean, other than Imaging DNA to sponsor us.
Right. And they're a good group of people.
Yeah.
But I think that it's time to talk more broadly to, ysn.com.
Yeah.
Let us know. Mm-hmm. How's it going?
Yeah. I'd love to work with them. But I think one of the things that we need to do with the trailer talks also is to take it from video to audio. Mm-hmm. Because we put so much, we just cut out so much content. And it breaks my heart every time I have to edit. Because it's like, this is a big chunk of your story, but now we're way over 18 minutes, and I have to cut it.
Yeah.
I have to cut it. And that editorial rule is, I think, a good one. Because, I know my attention span only lasts about 12 and a half.
It's hard for me to sometimes get to 18, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the reality of it.
Mm-hmm. But I'll listen to something for an hour. Easily, because I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
I'm not just watching. And quite honestly, watching us go back and forth on Skype is not riveting television.
It's not.
Mm-mm. So here's a screenshot of your webpage.
Yeah. Yay!
Yay! But if it's 20 minutes, then it's 20 minutes. But I think that when we've got 46 minutes of an interview, I don't want to, especially. I just interviewed J40 yesterday. And
I was shaking my head for the audio people out there.
She's shaking her head. Yes. And his entire interview was awesome.
Yeah.
And a lot of entire interviews are awesome.
Yeah.
But I can't use the entire thing, and breaking it in half sometimes works, but really,
Well, I know that, yes, as you can possibly imagine, we're not only thinking about doing it, we are doing an audio version of the Trailer Talks.
Yes.
But I also think there's some things out there that we're looking at doing too in terms of Google Hangouts and kind of just salon discussions, because I do think you have the Jays of the world, and you have the Dennis Keelys of the world, and you have the Jeff Hillins of the world, who really do need to kind of be put around your dining room table and given a combination of caffeinated and alcoholic beverages.
Right.
And just let them talk.
Oh, yeah. And I said that to Jay yesterday. I would love to have him and Xavier Pope and, let's see, who else? Mike Jaffe. Yeah. All of our, that core group of guys.
Steve Olsher.
Steve Olsher, yeah. Those awesome coaches. Mm-hmm. Dave Thompson. Throw him in there too.
Yes.
He'll stir a pot. He's so much fun. But yeah, put all those guys around a table.
Yeah.
With a mic in the middle and people circling them with cameras. If I could do that in physical reality, that would be awesome.
Yeah. But it's really evolved into that. It really hasn't been as much a journey on our parts. Mm-hmm. Certainly from where we started to where we are now. And, with our own media company.
I know. I can't believe how much it's grown. People started asking our advice, so we created a company that owns the Trailer Talks and LA Cecily and yeah.
Yeah.
And it's getting big.
Well, it's certainly bigger. It's yeah. You
It's a
can't
podcast. It's ours. We can do whatever we want.
And that's what people have to realize, that it's yours and you can do whatever you want, but in that freedom comes the responsibility that it takes a lot of hard work. Do you think we have enough?
I think we do.
Because it's like 2,000 degrees right now.
It is. It's
fucking low
so
box.
hot in here. All right, I'm done.
I'm done.
the fan.
I'm like turning this off. Bye.
I got a shot of my boobs, which you get every single time.